Hello everyone and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Academic Challenge. I'm Nick DeLeo. Normally I'm the host of School Talk, but today I'll be your moderator. Today the student OCAL team will be taking on the high school faculty for the right to claim who knows the most. Before we meet the teams, let's review the structure for today's competition. Our rounds will consist of either 45 questions or 15 minutes, whichever occurs first. Each of the questions will be read by the moderator. Team members may buzz in at any time to answer the question, and the answer must be given immediately after the buzzer sounds. Members will be given 5 seconds to provide a response to the question posed. However, in the case of a math question, when calculations are required, 10 seconds will be provided to answer the question. 1 point will be awarded for each correct answer. If answered incorrectly, the other team may collaborate for 10 seconds to give a team answer by the captain. In the event the question was not read completely, the moderator will provide the question in its entirety. Now let's meet our team. On my right, I have the OCAL team captained by Conrad Wendell. How are we doing, Conrad?
We're doing good.
Good. Introduce your team to me, please.
Absolutely. So we have Grace, Astrid, myself, Chloe, and Josh today.
Awesome. And to my left, I have my colleagues, the high school faculty, who is captained by Ray Mark. Hello, Mr. Mark.
Hello, Mr. DeLeo.
Introduce your team to us, please.
So on my left, I have Mr. Votto, Ms. Prasad, myself, Ms. Howard, and Mrs. Glover.
Awesome. All right, here we go. We are using a series of clickers, buzzers in. Again, everyone please keep your buzzers in your hand. Let's go. Here is round one. In 1991, which airline took over Pan American World Airways transatlantic routes? Its name is a Greek letter. Mr. Mark.
Delta.
That is correct for 1 point. Which document was Massachusetts-born John Hancock the first to sign? Conrad.
That'd be the Declaration of Independence.
For 1 point. Of the 5 recognized breeds of retrievers, which one is named after a large bay in the eastern?
Chesapeake.
Mrs. Glover, say it again, please.
Oh, Chesapeake Retriever.
Absolutely correct for 1 point. What is 15% of 1,500? Mrs. Howard.
225.
Correct for 1 point. What colors complete the following phrase chosen by the American Dialect Society as the most significant new term of 2004? Blank state, and blank state used to designate Republican, Democrat.
Red, blue, and purple.
That is, Conrad, please.
Red, blue, and purple.
Correct for 1 point. Name the powerful currents of outrushing water that occur when heavy waves leave a buildup of water on a beach and gravity takes. Ms. Travato.
Riptide.
Riptide is correct for 1 point. Which character in American fiction walks on an ivory leg made from.
Captain Ahab.
Conrad for 1 point. Excellent. Name the keyboard instrument with bellows that is linked with the polka. Sorry, and again, Astrid?
Accordion.
It is an accordion for 1 point. If a fleur-de-lis is tossed 3 times, what is the probability that 3 spots will appear face up on all 3 tosses of the die? Mr. Mark.
1 out of 216.
That is correct for 1 point. Complete the proverb. The blank stops here. Mr. Mark.
Buck.
Correct, Buck. Which name beginning with the letter C identifies the Montreal team in the National Hockey League? Mrs. Glover.
The Canadians.
Canadians is correct. Which Virginia-born black educator, the author of Up From Slavery, organized Tuskegee Institute in Alabama? 5 seconds, please. Ruth Travato.
Du Bois.
Incorrect.
Booker
Is
T.
it Booker?
Is it
10
Washington?
seconds to OCAL.
Right, Washington.
Booker T. Washington.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
yeah.
Okay.
Conrad?
Booker T. Washington.
Is correct for the point. Which term designates, quote, a narrow strip of landing connecting two larger bodies of land, end quote.
An isthmus.
Who is that, please? Conrad.
An isthmus.
It is an isthmus. What is the geometric mean of 3 and 5? Mr. Mark.
Square root of 15.
Yes, and my notes also read accept radical 1.5, or is that correct? Accept radical 15, I think is the answer. Okay. Pete Hamble's book, Downtown, My Manhattan, reveals little-known details such as an author's efforts to block establishment of a city grid or streets at right angles in the 1800s. Name this author known for the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas. 5 seconds. Time. Clement Clark Moore. On which temperature scale is 212 degrees the boiling point? Mrs. Glover.
The Fahrenheit scale.
Correct. For Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit, most countries use Celsius. Identify the Greek poet who wrote the best-known epics in Western literature. Conrad.
Homer.
Homer is correct for the Iliad and the Odyssey. In 1995, 33 countries were represented by 140 young pianists vying to set their careers and earn a $25,000 top prize by playing the music of which great Polish-born French composer who wrote more than 200 compositions for solo piano. 5 seconds. Seconds. Conrad.
Tchaikovsky.
It is not Tchaikovsky. Faculty, 10 seconds, please.
Chopin. We're going to go with Chopin.
Chopin is correct for 1 point. Give the name and the symbol for the unit of length 1,000 times the length of a meter. Conrad.
That'd be the kilometer or km.
Give it to me again, please.
The kilometer in abbreviation km.
Mr. Mark, clarification to go exactly by the answers there?
It's the right answer.
All right, it's kilometer. My answer is kilometer and K for 1 point. What word designates the issues scheduled to be discussed at a peace talk or any other?
Conference.
Go ahead, Grace.
Conference.
Incorrect, not conference. Teachers, I did not finish. You get it again. What word designates the issues scheduled to be discussed at a peace talk or any other meeting?
Agenda.
Agenda is correct for 1 point. An Asheville, North Carolina-based center once attempted to move the debate over UFOs and the existence of ETs into public hearings by offering a briefing for interested members of Congress. What do both the initialisms?
ET, extraterrestrial, and UFO, unidentified flying object.
Correct for a point. Identify these sequential years. The year in which the United States entered World War I and the year World War I ended.
19.
Conrad. 5 seconds.
1944 and 1945.
And incorrect, teachers. The year in which the United States entered World War I and the year World War I ended.
We'll go with 18. So we're going to say it started in 1914 and ended in 1918.
Half correct. The answer is 1917 and
World War I
1918.
Oh, I heard two.
Okay. In which California city did a major earthquake occur in 1906? Who's that? Barbara Glover.
San Francisco.
With a loss of 500 lives, correct. San Francisco. What's the difference between the square of 18 and the square of 17? Time. Answer is 35. Which country reached a population of 1 billion in early May 2000 and, according to experts, will overtake China?
India.
Who's that? Conrad, please.
India.
For 1 point correct. Teams, that was the 25th question. Continuing. What two-word name designates the human body's immature cells scientists remove as from human embryo?
Stem cells.
Ms. Travato, say it again.
Stem cells.
For 1 point correct. The third place winner in Florida's 1994 straw poll of Republican voters suggested that the winner, with 33% of the vote, should be, quote, worried about the friendly tortoise. What animal loses the race? Conrad.
That'd be the hare.
The hare, correct. Which instrument whose music is produced when its strings are plucked makes people think of angels or...
Harp.
Astrid?
Harp.
Yeah, harp is correct for 1 point. If Chet has an equal number of quarters and nickels with a total of $4.80, what's the value of his quarters? Mr. Mark.
$1.50.
Incorrect. OCAL team.
Is it just
$1.
25 cents a
Wait.
quarter? Each quarter's worth 25 cents.
What's the value in oh, yeah. So
Is it a trick question like that?
what were you thinking?
25 cents.
That's, I don't think that's right.
No.
Folks,
But-
give me an answer, please. And time.
$5.
Answer is $4.
It's not.
I just had a flashback to my high school math years. If I'm sweating up here, that's why. Question 30, please, as we approach 45 questions. All of the following can serve as which part of speech in a sentence? And, for, and, Ms. Travato.
Conjunction.
And the last one was yet for conjunction for 1 point. What phrase was added to the Buffalo nickel design for the new commemorative silver dollar, in keeping with the law requiring the words on all coinage as of Conrad?
Silver?
Incorrect for the teachers. What phrase was added to the Buffalo nickel design for the new commemorative silver dollar, in keeping with the law requiring the words on all coinage as of July 11, 1955?
In God we trust.
I was going to say equal or something. What do you think?
No, I think it's in God we trust.
Answer, please, Mrs. Glover, or Mr. Mark.
In God we trust.
In God we trust is correct for 1 point.
I thought it was saying silver trust.
Identify the U.S. government attorney who presented her first case before the Supreme Court on December 11, 1996, while she was serving as Attorney General. Mr. Mark.
Janet Reno.
Janet Reno for 1 point. 33. Which Washington, D.C. memorial celebrated its 80th anniversary in 1997? The 36 columns of its Great Hall represent the states in the Union. Mrs. Glover.
The Lincoln Memorial.
Is correct. Lincoln Memorial for 1 point. 3/4 decreased by the square of 3/4 yields what fraction? Conrad.
3/16.
3/16 is correct. Name the symbol Britain's Prince Harry wore on an armband as part of the Nazi attire he had been universally criticized for wearing to a 2005 costume party. Grace.
Swastika.
It is a swastika. Good. Which class of rock is formed by the cooling and hardening of molten matter? Conrad.
Igneous.
It is igneous rock. Name the author and illustrator whose 1993 book, his first in more than 10 years, focuses on homeless children. He's known for his books Chicken Soup with Rice and Where the Wild Things Are. Mr. Votto.
Maurice Sendak.
Maurice Sendak is correct. Which word completes the title of Italian composer Antonio Vivaldi's concertos? the blank seasons? Grace.
The Four Seasons.
4 is the correct answer. Hold on 1 second, folks. Okay. Which term, beginning with the letter M, do scientists use to identify the substance through which waves travel? Mrs. Glover.
Medium.
Medium is correct for 1 point. Name the only major Greek god who is physically imperfect. Conrad.
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus is correct. Final
I think it's time.
time. Are we at 15 minutes already? All right. We went through 40 questions, okay? And we have the score. We're just waiting for the score. At the end of round 1, we have OCAL 17 and faculty 19. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Stay with us.
One passenger, 3 potential drivers. It's the driving game. And here's our host, Johnny Ride.
She enjoys slow motion runs on the beach and takes safety very seriously. Let's meet our passenger, Pamela Anderson. Okay, Pam, let's begin.
Driver number 1, have you ever been drug tested?
No. What kind of drug should I be testing?
Okay, next question.
Driver number 2, have you ever had a background check?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they checked, if you know what I mean. Huh?
Driver number 3, why should I trust you to take me home?
Your safety is my top priority. I've been screened, licensed, and trained.
Okay, Pam, who's it gonna be?
Driver number 3.
Driver number 3!
You can't always vet the driver you're using, but the service you're using should. Be safe. Think before you act.
Welcome back to the inaugural edition of the Academic Challenge. Hi, everybody. I'm Nick DeLeo. The score halfway through stands at OCAL 17 and faculty 19. So let's check back in with our teams. On my right, I still have the OCAL team. So Conrad, I'm going to send it over to you again. We have a new team member. Who is it?
Yes, we do. This is Anthony. He is our only sub for today.
Excellent, Anthony. Welcome to the competition. And I'm going to go to my left and reintroduce the captain over here, Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark, you have 4 new teachers with you.
I did.
Who are they?
I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
There you go.
I'm Dennis O'Connor with Fairfield University.
Andy Warren, Stony Brook University.
Mr. R from Yale University.
Juan Arteaga, St. Joseph's University.
Excellent. All right, if you guys are ready, buzzers in your hands, please. Same thing, 5 seconds for a question to answer. In the case of a math question, 10 seconds. Contestants, here we go. Here's round 2. What word is used to describe twins that begin life from 2 eggs? Conrad.
Fraternal twins.
Fraternal is correct for 1 point. Identify the Aesop fable that includes the line, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is Mr. Mark.
Goes unpunished.
Incorrect for the OCAL team. Identify the Aesop fable that includes the line, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted."
It's the title. So I know there's a lot of animals in the titles of Aesop fables,
Yeah.
so we could probably just name 2 animals and we'll probably be right.
Is it the wolf and the crow?
Is that your final answer?
We'd like to go with the wolf and the crow.
That is incorrect. It's the lion and the mouse. Okay. Brigham Young University, which is owned by the Mormon Church, once pulled the kiss and 3 other nudes from an exhibit of the works of which French sculptor? Time. Auguste Rodin. Okay, it's the traveling exhibit was titled The Hands of Rodin. Number 4. Name the largest 2-digit number that you can square and get a 3-digit result. Mr. Ranjatan.
10.
The answer is not 10. OCAL.
So think about it. So
It's larger than 30.
So no, three digits.
Yeah,
okay.
3 digits. So it has to be larger than 30, but smaller than 40.
Is it 33? Does that give 999?
Isn't 36?
36. We'll go with that.
And
final
answer, please.
Final answer 36.
Incorrect. The answer is 31. No points awarded.
All right.
According to legend, in which country, known as the Land of the Rising Sun, Mr. Arteaga?
Japan.
Japan is correct for 1 point. Answer either of the following. In the song, Oh Susanna, from which state did the singer... Conrad?
Alabama.
Alabama is correct for 1 point. U.S. citizenship is a right protected by which constitutional amendment that guarantees citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S.? It was the fourth adopted after the Bill of Rights. Conrad?
The 14th Amendment?
14th is correct for 1 point. What are the three modes of modern English verbs? Astrid?
Past, present, future.
Incorrect. For 10 seconds to the teachers. What are the three modes of modern English verbs?
Passive aggressive and passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive and happy.
That's a great answer, but it's not. This one threw me too. Indicative, imperative, and subjunctive. Forgot about those.
Good guess.
Continuing, please. Buzzer's ready. In the arithmetic progression, whose first term is 9 and whose common difference is -3, what is the third term? Conrad?
3.
Answer is 3 for 1 point. Georgia's groundhog, General Beauregard Lee, did see his shadow on February 2nd, 2019. According to popular law, Mr. O'Connor.
6 weeks of winter.
Correct. 6 weeks of winter for 1 point for the teachers. In 1995, Attorney General Janet Reno announced that the shaking in her hand was diagnosed as a symptom of Mr. Mark.
Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's is correct for 1 point. Which term designates the person who tells the story in a work of fiction? Mr. Mark.
Narrator?
It is the narrator. Which traditional song includes the lines, should old acquaintances... Mr. Arteaga.
Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne is correct for 1 point. In 1994, former President Ronald Reagan announced that he was in the early stages... Mr. O'Connor.
Dementia.
Give me another version, please.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's for 1 point. Which letters of the alphabet identify the representatives of French Foreign Minister Talleyrand, who on a... Astrid, please.
XYZ.
XYZ is correct. New Mexico's legislature once considered asking Albuquerque's city council to put a dropped R back into the city's name to pay tribute to the Duke of Albuquerque, for whom the city was named in 1706. Spell the current version.
ALBUQUERQUE.
For 1 point. Well done, Astrid. Which U.S. president established the placing of a man on the moon? Conrad.
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy is correct for 1 point. Give the words ending in "side" for the act of killing one's mother.
Matricide.
I cannot give it to you because it was a dual answer.
Can I continue my answer?
The answer is no. Over to the other side. Teachers, give the words ending in "side" for the act of killing one's mother and the act of killing one's father.
I'm just gonna.
It's both. It's matricide.
I was gonna
Matricide and patricide.
For 1 point, correct. Find the exact surface area of a cube with half-inch edges. Mr. Mark.
1/8 cubed. Inches cubed.
That is not in my answer book, so I cannot rule on it. So I'm going to go to OCAL. 10 seconds, please. Again, find the exact surface area of a cube with 1/2 inch edges.
It's everything multiplied by each other.
I have two answers here.
So
1/2
inches cubed.
All right. Yeah.
1/2.
1/2 inch cubed.
Say it again, please, Conrad.
1/2 inch cubed.
1/2.
1 and 1/2.
1 and 1/2.
One is correct. The other is 3/2 or 1.5 square inches.
What did you say?
What compound word names the company created by a group of European aerospace companies that announced in 2005 development of the largest passenger aircraft ever made? Time. Answer is Airbus. Conservationists warned in 2000 that 25 species of apes, monkeys, lemurs, and others of the order are endangered. What word beginning with P names this group of animals? Conrad.
Primates.
Primates is correct for 1 point. Identify the author of the Newbery Honor books, The Winter Room and Dog Song. And time. Answer is Gary Paulson. Name the New York City Music Hall that held its first concert in... Mr. Arteaga.
Radio City.
Incorrect. Over to OCAL. I'll finish the question. Name the New York City Music Hall that held its first concert in 1995 following the replacement of its stage to improve acoustics. The hall was financed by a leading steel manufacturer who was one of the wealthiest individuals to his name of his time.
That would be Carnegie Hall.
For 1 point. Rounded to the nearest positive integer, what is 16 2/3% of 36? And time. Answer is 6. In which religion is the holy month of Ramadan? Mr. Arteaga.
Islam.
Islam is correct. We are at the 25th question. What does the road sign HOV mean?
High occupancy vehicle?
Correct. High occupancy vehicles from Mr. Warren. Governor Paris Glenningham said no thank you to House Speaker Gingrich 1995 suggestion that Washington, D.C. be returned to which neighboring state?
Virginia.
Say again, please, Mr. Warren.
Virginia.
Virginia is incorrect. For OCAL, be returned to which neighboring state that once owned D.C.'s land?
Is it
10 seconds.
It's Maryland? Maryland or Delaware?
Maryland.
It's Maryland.
Maryland? Okay. Maryland?
Maryland is correct for 1 point. What prefix meaning outside or beyond completes the term blank vert, meaning a person who is outgoing? Where is Mr. Arteaga?
Extro.
Extro for extrovert for 1 point. If Amy's night class meets from 6:05 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. with a 15-minute break, how much time is spent in class?
2 hours and 25 minutes.
2 hours and 25 minutes or 145 minutes for 1 point. Both Honda and Toyota brought out vehicles using a combination of electricity and gasoline.
Hybrid?
Hybrid is correct for 1 point. Name the smallest kind of star formed when it... Go, Mr. Ramjitan.
Red dwarf.
Incorrect for OCAL. Name the smallest kind of star formed when a normal star collapses to the size of 20 to 30 kilometers in diameter.
White dwarf.
Brown.
Yeah,
is it brown dwarf, white dwarf, or neutron star?
It's white dwarf, right?
I think it's white.
White dwarf.
And time.
White dwarf.
Answer, please.
It'd be a white dwarf.
Incorrect. It is a neutron star. Children are being made more aware of food labels through new public service announcements featuring which troublemaking monkey from children's?
Curious George.
Curious George is correct for 1 point. Name the American architect known for his... where are we, please? Mr. Warren.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
Correct. Frank Lloyd Wright.
He's the only one.
Name the planet whose orbit around the sun takes 88 Earth days. Conrad.
Mercury.
Mercury is correct. What name identifies the treaty signed on February 10, 1760? Conrad.
Treaty of Paris.
Is correct for 1 point. If winter reached its halfway mark at 3:10 p.m. EST on February 3rd, how many days remained before winter's end on March 20? Mr. Ramjitan.
2 days.
It is not 2 days, incorrect.
Wait, can we ask if this is a leap year or not?
It does not say in my book.
Okay, so 28 days.
45.
Yeah, just go 45.
20, 40.
And
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
give
All
me
right.
an answer, please.
45 days.
The answer is 45
Nice job.
for 1 point.
Yeah.
Name the U.S. presidents associated with Indiana and related as grandfather and grandson. Mr. Warren.
William Henry Harrison and Benjamin Harrison?
Correct for 1 point. Okay. Which term beginning with C means existing from birth? Conrad.
Congenital.
Correct for 1 point. When Pat noticed that her checkbook balance was minus $90, she immediately deposited $250, creating what new balance? Conrad.
$160.
For 1 point, correct. A Chinese entrepreneur has been making a copy of a huge ancient religious statue blown up in 2001 by Afghanistan's ruling Taliban. Whom did this
The Buddha?
Buddha is correct for 1 point. On April 12, 1954, the Atomic Energy Commission suspended a possible security risk the U.S. physicist called the Father D.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer is correct. Robert Oppenheimer. Just checking time. Name author Washington Irving's native state, where he died.
New York.
Mr. O'Connor.
New York.
Say it again, please.
New York.
New York is correct for 1 point. Which New York museum, completed in 1960, was designed by American architect Frank Lloyd Wright, and it is Conrad?
The Met? Metropolitan?
Incorrect. Teachers by architect Frank Lloyd Wright.
Which one?
I think it's Guggenheim.
Okay.
It's Guggenheim.
The Guggenheim.
Guggenheim is correct for 1 point, and I'm getting told by our control room we have reached the 15-minute mark. Okay, here we go. We are waiting. Let's see from the control room to see what the final score is for round 2. The score for round 2 is OCAL 17 and faculty 18. Combining the 2 rounds, our final score is OCAL 34 and faculty 37. Congratulations to our winning team. On behalf of WVTV, we'd like to thank you for joining us for this inaugural edition of the Academic Challenge.